Section 2. The Extinction of Self. Thereupon the Venerable Subhuti, by the Buddha's might, said to the Lord, "The Lord has said, make it clear now, Subhuti, to the Bodhisattvas, the great beings, starting from perfect wisdom, how the Bodhisattvas, the great beings, go forth into perfect wisdom." When one speaks of a Bodhisattva, what Dharma does that word Bodhisattva denote? I do not, O Lord, see that Dharma, Bodhisattva, nor a Dharma called perfect wisdom. Since I neither find, nor apprehend, nor see a Dharma, Bodhisattva, nor a perfect wisdom, what Bodhisattva shall I instruct and admonish? In what perfect wisdom? And yet, O Lord, if, when this is pointed out, a Bodhisattva's heart does not become cowed, nor stolid, does not despair, nor despond, if he does not turn away or become dejected, does not tremble, is not frightened or terrified, it is just this Bodhisattva, this great being, who should be instructed in perfect wisdom. It is precisely this that should be recognized as the perfect wisdom of that Bodhisattva, as his instruction in perfect wisdom. When he thus stands firm, that is his instruction and admonition. Moreover, when a Bodhisattva courses in perfect wisdom and develops it, he should so train himself that he does not pride himself on that thought of enlightenment with which he has begun his career. That thought is no thought, since in its essential original nature, thought is transparently luminous. Sariputra said, that thought which is no thought, is that something which is? Subhuti said, does there exist, or can one apprehend in this state of absence of thought, either a there is or a there is not? Sariputra said, no, not that. Subhuti said, was it then a suitable question when the Venerable Sariputra asked whether that thought which is no thought is something which is? Sariputra said, what then is this state of absence of thought? Subhuti said, it is without modification or discrimination. Sariputra said, well do you expound this, Subhuti, you whom the Lord has declared to be the foremost of those who dwell in peace. And for that reason, that is, because he does not pride himself on that thought of enlightenment, should a Bodhisattva be considered as incapable of turning away from full enlightenment, and as one who will never cease from taking perfect wisdom to heart. Whether one wants to train on the level of disciple, or Pratyeka Buddha, or Bodhisattva, one should listen to this perfection of wisdom, take it up, bear it in mind, recite it, study it, spread it among others, and in this very perfection of wisdom should one be trained and exert oneself. In this very perfection of wisdom should one endowed with skill and means exert himself, with the aim of procuring all the dharmas which constitute a bodhisattva. In just this perfection of wisdom, all the dharmas which constitute a bodhisattva, and in which he should be trained and exert himself, are indicated in full detail. He who wants to train for full enlightenment should also listen, etc., to this perfection of wisdom. One who is endowed with skill and means should exert himself in just this perfection of wisdom, with the aim of procuring all the dharmas which constitute a Buddha. Subhuti said, I, who do not find anything to correspond to the word bodhisattva, or to the words perfect wisdom, which bodhisattva should I then instruct and admonish in which perfect wisdom? It would surely be regrettable if I, unable to find the thing itself, should merely, in words, cause a bodhisattva to arise and to pass away. Moreover, what is thus designated is not continuous nor not continuous, not discontinuous or not discontinuous. And why? Because it does not exist. That is why it is not continuous nor not continuous, not discontinuous nor not discontinuous. A bodhisattva who does not become afraid when this deep and perfect wisdom is being taught should be recognized as not lacking in perfect wisdom, as standing at the irreversible stage of a bodhisattva, standing firmly in consequence of not taking his stand anywhere. Moreover, a bodhisattva who courses in perfect wisdom and develops it should not stand in form, etc., because when he stands in form, etc., he courses in its formative influence and not in perfect wisdom. For while he courses in formative influences, he cannot gain perfect wisdom, nor exert himself upon it, nor fulfill it. When he does not fulfill perfect wisdom, he cannot go forth to all knowledge, so long as he remains one who tries to appropriate the essentially elusive. For in perfect wisdom form is not appropriated, but the non-appropriation of form, etc., is not form, etc., and perfect wisdom also cannot be appropriated. It is thus that a bodhisattva should course in this perfect wisdom. This concentrated insight of a bodhisattva is called the non-appropriation of all dharmas. It is vast, noble, unlimited, and steady, not shared by any of the disciples or Pratyeka Buddhas. The state of all knowledge itself cannot be taken hold of because it cannot be seized through a sign. If it could be seized through a sign, then Shrenika, the wanderer, would not have gained faith in this, our religion. Shrenika, the wanderer, believed resolutely in this cognition of the all-knowing, and as a faith follower he entered on a cognition with the limited scope. He did not take hold of form, etc., nor did he review that cognition with joyful zest and pleasure. He reviewed it neither as inside form, etc., nor as outside, nor as both inside and outside, nor as other than form, etc. In this scripture passage, Shrenika, the wanderer, as one who always resolutely believes in this cognition of the all-knowing, is called a faith follower. He took the true nature of dharmas as his standard, and resolutely believed in the signless, so that he did not take hold of any dharma, nor apprehended any dharma, which he could have appropriated or released. He did not even care about nirvana. This also should be known as a bodhisattva's perfect wisdom, that he does not take hold of form, etc., and that he does not enter nirvana midway before he has realized the 10 powers of a Tathagata, his 4 grounds of self-confidence, and the 18 dharmas peculiar to a Buddha. Therefore, this too should be known as a bodhisattva's perfect wisdom. Further, a bodhisattva who courses in perfect wisdom and develops it should consider and meditate on what that perfect wisdom is, on him who has it, and on this perfect wisdom as a dharma which does not exist, which cannot be apprehended. When these considerations do not make him afraid, then he is to be known as a bodhisattva who possesses perfect wisdom. Sariputra said, "How can a bodhisattva be known as possessing perfect wisdom when the very form does not possess the own being of form, etc.? When perfect wisdom does not possess the own being of perfect wisdom? When the very all-knowledge does not possess the own being of all-knowledge?" Subhuti said, "It is so, Sariputra. Form itself does not possess the own being of form, etc. Perfect wisdom does not possess the mark of being perfect wisdom. A mark does not possess the own being of a mark. The marked does not possess the own being of being marked, and own being does not possess the mark of being own being." Sariputra said, "Nevertheless, the bodhisattva who trains in this will go forth to all knowledge." Subhuti said, "He will, because all dharmas are unborn and do not go forth. When he courses thus, a bodhisattva comes near to all knowledge. To the extent that he comes near to all knowledge, his body, thought, and marks shall become perfectly pure for the sake of maturing beings, and he shall meet with the Buddhas. It is thus that a bodhisattva who courses in perfect wisdom comes near to all knowledge." Subhuti said, "Further concerning the bodhisattva, he courses in a sign when he courses in form, etc., or in the sign of form, etc., or in the idea that form is a sign, or in the production of form, or in the stopping or destruction of form, or in the idea that form is empty, or I course, or I am a bodhisattva. For he actually courses in the idea I am a bodhisattva as a basis. Or when it occurs to him, he who courses thus courses in perfect wisdom and develops it. He courses only in a sign. Such a bodhisattva should be known as unskilled in means. Sariputra said, How then must a bodhisattva course if he is to course in perfect wisdom? Subhuti said, He should not course in the skandha, nor in their sign, nor in the idea that the skandhas are signs, nor in the production of the skandhas, in their stopping or destruction, nor in the idea that the skandhas are empty, or I course, or I am a bodhisattva, and it should not occur to him, he who courses thus courses in perfect wisdom and develops it. He courses, but he does not entertain such ideas as I course, I do not course, I course and I do not course, I neither course nor do I not course, and the same with I will course. He does not go near any dharma at all, because all dharmas are unapproachable and unappropriatable. The bodhisattva then has the concentrated insight, not grasping at any dharma, by name, vast, noble, unlimited and steady, not shared by any of the disciples or pratyeka Buddhas. When he dwells in this concentrated insight, a bodhisattva will quickly win the full enlightenment which the Tathagatas of the past have predicted for him. But when he dwells in that concentration, he does not review it, nor think, I am collected. I will enter into concentration. I am entering into concentration. I have entered into concentration. All that, in each and every way, does not exist for him. Sariputra said, Can one show forth that concentration? Subhuti said, No, Sariputra, because that son of a good family neither knows nor perceives it. Sariputra said, You say that he neither knows nor perceives it? Subhuti said, I do, for that concentration does not exist. The Lord said, Well said, Subhuti, and thus should a bodhisattva train therein, because then he trains in perfect wisdom. Sariputra said, When he thus trains, he trains in perfect wisdom? The Lord said, When he thus trains, he trains in perfect wisdom. Sariputra said, When he thus trains, which dharmas does he train in? The Lord said, He does not train in any dharma at all, because the dharmas do not exist in such a way as foolish, untaught, common people are accustomed to suppose. Sariputra said, How then do they exist? The Lord said, As they do not exist, so they exist. And so, since they do not exist, they are called the result of ignorance. Foolish, untaught common people have settled down in them. Although they do not exist, they have constructed all the dharmas. Having constructed them attached to the two extremes, they do not know or see those dharmas in their true reality. So they construct all dharmas which yet do not exist. Having constructed them, they settle down in the two extremes. They then depend on that link as a basic fact and construct past, future, and present dharmas. After they have constructed, they settle down in name and form. They have constructed all dharmas which yet do not exist. But while they construct all dharmas which yet do not exist, they neither know nor see the path that is that which truly is. In consequence, they do not go forth from the triple world. They do not wake up to the reality limit. For that reason, they come to be styled fools. They have no faith in the true dharma, but a bodhisattva does not settle down in any dharma. Sariputra said, When he trains thus, is a bodhisattva trained in all knowledge? The Lord said, When he thus trains himself, a bodhisattva is not even trained in all knowledge, and yet he is trained in all dharmas. When he thus trains himself, a bodhisattva is trained in all knowledge, comes near to it, goes forth to it. Subhuti said, If, O Lord, someone should ask, Will this illusory man be trained in all knowledge? Will he come near it? Will he go forth to it? How should one explain it? The Lord said, I will ask you a counter-question, which you may answer as best you can. Subhuti said, Well said, O Lord. And the Venerable Subhuti listened to the Lord. The Lord said, What do you think, Subhuti? Is form, etc., one thing, and illusion another? Subhuti said, No, Lord, because it is not so that illusion is one thing and form, etc., another. The very form is illusion. The very illusion is form. The Lord said, What do you think, Subhuti? Is that notion bodhisattvas? That denomination, that concept, that conventional expression in the 5 grasping skandhas? Subhuti said, Yes, it is, because a bodhisattva who trains himself in perfect wisdom should train himself like an illusory man for full enlightenment. For one should bear in mind that the 5 grasping aggregates are like an illusory man, because the Lord has said that form is like an illusion, and what is true of form is also true of the 6 sense organs and of the 5 grasping aggregates. Subhuti said, Will not bodhisattvas who have newly set out on the vehicle tremble when they hear this exposition? The Lord said, They will tremble if they get into the hands of bad friends, but not if they get into the hands of good friends. Subhuti said, Who then are a bodhisattva's good friends? The Lord said, Those who instruct and admonish him in the perfections, those who point out to him the deeds of Mara, saying, This is how the faults and deeds of Mara should be recognized. These are the faults and deeds of Mara. You should get rid of them after you have recognized them. These should be known as the good friends of a bodhisattva, a great being who is armed with the great armor, who has set out on the great vehicle, who has mounted on the great vehicle.